If you look closely at the bees that are landing on the landing board, and there are some that are just lined up facing inwards into the hive, and they're beating their wings. And what they're doing, it's in the 80s today here on my property. The bees are trying to cool the interior of the hive. So on all my landing boards, I can see where similar activity with foraging bees returning and other worker bees cooling the hive off. So that's definitely an activity you want to see. And and that live action, me running away, was, and he's still here, is a worker bee that says, get away. You get a little too close. So he's a little defensive of what's going on, and I guess he thought I was a threat, or she thought I was a threat. So here I am, 50 feet away from the hive, and we'll go back to looking around here. I just kind of wanted to show you what's going on, because it's gotten warm really quick here in my part of the world, and everything is in bloom. I got a nice cherry tree here that's still got blossoms. The one just beyond it has already come and gone. My Zestar apple tree is just gorgeous, and there are lots and lots of bees. Let's go take a look, see if we can see some that are working. And where we got? There ought to be some bees here somewhere. Oh yeah, this one. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. But no, they've been busy since early this morning. But I just wanted to kind of show you what, if you're looking for an excuse not to mow your lawn, what you need to do is get yourself some bees, because you want a diversity of resources for the bees fairly close to your hive, if at all possible. I don't live in farm country, so my bees have to forage on wildflowers, and so you can see on my lawn, currently it's long, and there's lots of dandelions, but there are lots of bees working those blossoms right now, gathering pollen and nectar. Amongst the dandelions, there are wild strawberries that are in bloom. The bees are working those as well, and they're also working my apple trees and my pear trees and everything here that's in bloom. Being close to the hive, they can fly here and work all these flowers on this acre without having to go too far. Now, a bee will travel up to 2 miles from its hive in order to gather resources. But boy, if they can gather the resources 20 feet from the hive, do the math and figure out how many more trips they can make in a day, flying 20 feet, gathering nectar and pollen, back, and then going back to the hive, versus having to fly 2 miles to do the same thing. And also, one of the things you'll observe when you keep bees is, I live in an area where there's a lot of dragonflies, and dragonflies can be your friend when they're eating pests like mosquitoes and black flies and horseflies, etc. But they seem to really like my honeybees, and so it's kind of frustrating. It is part of nature. I don't kill them or whatnot, but I'll see them lined up and actively hunting honeybees as they come back. So you figure if a bee's got to travel 2 miles, all the threats that it must overcome in order to get to and from the hive, just getting to and from, it's really pretty amazing that they're able to produce any honey at all. But back to mowing my lawn. You know, prior to keeping bees, I kept my lawn mowed. You know, I'd hit this every week or 5 days or so and keep it trimmed right up, and you know, and it was a decent looking lawn. But when you have bees, you want some weeds. You really do. Because it gives them something to forage on. You know, if I put weed and feed on here, that's just that's creating a food desert, and that's no good. So I let my lawn go for a while. You know, I'll mow it, oh, I don't know, maybe in another week or 10 days. But I'm not going to mow it all at once. I'll do sections and trim it up. And then, you know, what's going to come up behind this, the next nectar source on my ground up here will probably be clover that'll be coming out. And so once these dandelions go to seed and stuff, I'll mow them down, and then the clover will start coming right behind it. Another plant that actually is a resource for bees is right here, and that's a plantain, and they'll produce a stem that rises up, oh, I don't know, a foot or so. I don't believe it's a nectar producer, but I do see the bees in the morning gathering pollen when the stems emerge on these, and they work it pretty regularly. And if you look at them, all their pollen sacs will be full of pollen from the plantain. And the plantain actually is kind of a pain reliever. So if you get stung by a bee or get bitten by a mosquito and it itches and whatnot, if you take a little plantain and chew it and then apply that kind of poultice to the injury site, it reduces the swelling and itching. So it's a home remedy as well. But you know, so that's your latest bee update with a little live action, escaping from an angry honeybee that was telling me go elsewhere with that camera. Some tips if you're considering keeping bees, you know, and you're looking for an excuse. Maybe your wife keeps at you to keep the lawn mowed. Well, get some bees and then you get an excuse. But you want to win her over to helping with the honeybees. And so, you know, first, you know, approach it from that angle. You know, you're trying to help the bees, because you really are. You know, if you have some dandelions in your ground and there's a resource for honeybees, as well as other pollinators. Even the bumblebee does a great job pollinating, and they need resources too. So that's your bee tip from the Katahdin region at Rick Theriault, your Maine real estate guide, and we'll bring you more. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.